Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Wednesday, the 28th day of November in the year 2022. This is a regular meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 6 p.m. start. The clock on my cell phone is showing 6:04 p.m. May we have a roll call for the commencement of this meeting? Councilperson Ridley. Councilperson Prinzeri.
Here.
Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Saleh is not here yet. Councilperson Solomon.
Here.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Present.
Councilperson DeGise.
Here.
Councilperson Rivera.
Here.
And Council President Waterman.
Here.
We have 8 council members in attendance at 6:04 p.m. Can we kindly rise for a moment of silence, please?
Richard Butler.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Council President Waterman, in accordance with New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the posting on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall, the annual notice, which is the schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for the calendar year 2022, and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Thursday, October 28th, 2021. In addition, at the time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Friday, November 18th, 2022 at 5 p.m. to the Municipal Council, Mayor, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and the local newspapers, and posted on the city's website so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Please be advised that we are now live streaming all City Council caucuses and meetings through Microsoft Teams. The links are located on our website and also on the agenda on the website. Okay, so council members, before we move on to our regular order of business, we have two items that I believe the BA is going to address the city council about.
Three items. First, council, the administration would like to withdraw the MUA first reading ordinance. That is number 3.2. In regards to the lead lines, there's a lot of questions at caucus, and we want to make sure that we fulfill those requests as well as furthering public communication. The other items I have here are planning amendments that we're asking the council to just introduce, and we'll have a full caucus on the at the next meeting with presentations. Just because of the timing with the planning board and the holiday, the planning board met after we had our agenda meeting, so the items were technically late at that point. The first item is just an item amending 701 Newark Avenue, which is a project which again will present at the caucus, and that's to include a 20% affordable housing on that project. So it's actually higher than what was expected. In addition, parking will remain the same, that I know Councilman Borgiano has an issue with, but we'll make sure they're here at caucus to discuss.
John, not me that has an issue with it. It's the people, the business people in the area that have no parking and they're taking away another parking lot.
We'll make sure
Couple
that
of them are moving out of the city because of this.
So we're going to make sure that they address that at the caucus before we proceed with anything. And the second item is the Grand Jersey project, and that is to amend some of the DEP requirements because it's a biotech site there. So there's some configurations of the properties and DEP requirements. So again, we're just asking the council if they can kindly introduce, and we'll have full conversation at the next caucus.
Okay. With that being said, council members, I need a motion to add items 3.3, ordinance 22-101, and 3.4, ordinance 22-102 to the agenda.
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Rivera. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President Waterman. Camera. On the motion to add items 3.3 and 3.4 to the city council agenda, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh is not here, right? Sorry. Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Saleh absent to add items 3.3 and 3.4 to the agenda. So if I can read them into the record, our first reading ordinances. First item is 3.1, City Ordinance 22-050 is a franchise ordinance granting permission to 503-509 Communipore Avenue LLC, its successors and assigns to use approximately 216 square feet over the public right-of-way within 50 foot of the right-of-way on Arlington Avenue and 60-foot right-of-way adjacent to Lot 1.01, Block 18703, formerly known as Lots 1 and 2, Block 18703, on the official tax assessment map of the City of Jersey City to maintain an encroaching overhang for a constructed mixed-use development. As the business administrator said earlier, item 3.2 is withdrawn. Item 3.3, City Ordinance 22-101 is an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan regarding 701 Newark Avenue. And item 3.4, City Ordinance 22-102 is an ordinance of the Jersey City Municipal Council to amend Grand Jersey redevelopment plan regarding modifications to the street grid regulating maps, building types, and street sections. Council members, I'll be taking a vote on items 3.1 through 3.4 with the exception of 3.2, which has been withdrawn. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Bajano.
I'm going to abstain on 3.3 until they sit down with the community on certain issues that have to be worked out. Right. Yes on the rest.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye on all.
Councilperson Gilmore. Councilperson DeGise.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Okay. Just bear with me a second. Okay, so item 3.1 is introduced 8-0 with Councilperson Saleh absent. Item 3.3 is introduced 7-0-1 with Councilperson Bajano abstaining. And item 3.4 is introduced 8-0 with Councilperson Saleh absent. Hey, council members, as discussed at the caucus meeting, I'm looking for a motion to carry City Ordinances 22-092, 22-093, and 22-099 to the December 14th, 2022 council meeting and duly advertise each ordinance for a public hearing. May I have a motion to carry these ordinances?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Rivera, seconded by Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to carry City Ordinances 20.
Sorry, I apologize, Clerk. I apologize for interrupting you. Do we have to carry 4.7 as well? That was an administration request. Got a motion for all three?
It's on the bottom too, Sean.
Yeah.
4.7.
Yeah, Sean, it's noted on.
That's part of the, there's three. So it's 20, I didn't use item numbers. I used the ordinance numbers.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. 22-092, 22-093, and 22-099. No problem.
9.
Councilperson Ridley on the motion.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise. Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Saleh absent to carry ordinances 22-092, 093, and 099 to the December 14th council meeting and I will advertise them for each ordinance for a public hearing for the December 14th meeting. Okay, so on to our first Second reading ordinance, which happens to be item 4.3, City Ordinance 22-095, is an ordinance of the City of Jersey City and the County of Hudson, New Jersey, providing for a special emergency appropriation for $10 million, providing for payment from contractually required severance liabilities resulting from the layoff or retirement of city employees. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record. Just give me 1 second. Hey, Gene, whenever you're ready.
Sure. Good. Yes, this is Jean Daly. I'm sorry to miss the last council meeting, but I can't help but look over this another emergency appropriation of $10 million and just say to myself, what the heck? We just went over on the budget by 30 million. A surprise. Then now we have a need for $10 million? The question I ask is who is responsible and who's been looking for the city budget, through the city budget, and what's going on? And apparently, I know when we passed that extraordinary emergency, or the last city budget, excuse me, there was something, the council said that you have to do a better job. Well, you have to do a better job on keeping up with the administration about all this waste, which I see in contract after contract after contract. And I'm very, very dismayed that this is happening right now. Immediately, right out of the box, boom, $10 million emergency appropriation. Unexpected, out of the blue. Question is why? And I keep on saying, okay, you guys felt so pressed to get that budget in on before time in order that you may not, so you don't get fined. My question is, if you didn't cave to the mayor, maybe you would have looked at it, didn't care about getting fined, and the amount of money you could have saved by going over through every single appropriation, spending, et cetera, you could have saved $30 to $40 million. This is what makes me sick. Who's on the ball? Is nobody on the ball? I'm really, really dismayed by every single one of you and the way this council has operated in the past. I'm not saying every single one, but many at different times. And you are injuring the taxpayer. You're injuring the residents that live here if you just keep on this emergency spending. And at this point, I don't care what this emergency spending is for. This should have been accounted for prior. We should be able to plan for these things and stop spending money on ridiculous partnership like the Pompidou Center. Who the heck needs that? We need to take care of the residents in Jersey City now. Thanks.
Thank you, Jean.
This is still a public hearing on ordinance 22-095. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Motion to close the public hearing on city ordinance 22-095 by Councilperson Rivera. May I have a second?
Second.
Gotcha. Seconded was made by Councilperson Saleh, who I will record present at 6:16 p.m. On the motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 22-095, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary. Aye. Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore. Aye. Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 9-0 to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-095. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-095, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Baggiano, make sure your mic is on. Can't hear you.
As far as what Gene said, this money is being appropriated for people that have worked for the city for 25, 30, 35 years and retiring, and it's part of their package agreements. So for that reason, I'll say yes.
Councilperson Saleh,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
I'm going to vote no and just reiterate again, every year, this should be in our general budget. And it means we have to spend less on other things, but this is an annual cost. This employees retire. We know they're retiring. Councilman Yoon was very vocal about the need for us to budget for this on an annual basis. And we're going to have to pay interest on this 10 million. So that's going to cost the taxpayers more than they otherwise would have if we had put it in the budget and reduced spending on other items. So I vote no.
Councilperson Gilmore,
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise, Councilperson Rivera,
Aye.
and Council President Waterman. City Ordinance 22-095 is adopted 8-1 with Councilperson Solomon. Voting no, sorry. Next item, item 4.4, City Ordinance 22-096 is an ordinance amending Chapter 3, Administration of Government, Article 5, Office of the City Clerk of the Municipal Code to restructure the Office of the City Clerk. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Motion to close the public hearing was made by Councilperson Rivera on City
Second.
Ordinance 22-096 and seconded by Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-096, Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary, Councilperson Bajano,
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore,
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise, Councilperson Rivera,
Aye.
Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 9-0 to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-096 for final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-096. Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary,
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano,
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore,
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise,
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera,
Aye.
and Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-096 is unanimously adopted 9-0. Thank you, council members, on that as well. Item 4.5, City Ordinance 22-097 is an ordinance authorizing the execution of a deed of easement between PH Urban Renewal LLC, the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City, and the City of Jersey City affecting Block 13102, Lot 1.03, also known as 25 Christopher Columbus Drive. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilperson Rivera, second by Councilperson Saleh to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-097. On the motion, Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary,
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano,
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore,
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise,
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera,
Aye.
and Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 9-0 to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-097. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-097, Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary,
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano,
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon,
I'm going to vote, I'm just abstain on this one. Thanks.
Councilperson Gilmore,
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise,
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera,
Aye.
and Council President Waterman. City Ordinance 22-097 is adopted 8-0-1 with Councilperson Solomon abstaining. On to our last second reading ordinance of the night, item 4.6, City Ordinance 22-098 is an ordinance amending Chapter 345, Article 4, Section 33, fees for the Historic Preservation Commission applications. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion. Second.
Motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-098 was made by Councilperson Rivera, seconded by Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-098, Councilperson Ridley,
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary,
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeJeece.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 9-0 to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-098 for final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-098. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeJeece.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-098 is adopted unanimously 9-0. Council members, before we move on to the public speakers, I believe we're going to entertain a motion to remove Ordinance 22-090 from the tabled agenda. We do that, I'll just read it into the record if I can find it. It is an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City to adopt the 6th Street Embankment redevelopment plan. So I need a motion to remove
Motion.
item 22-090 from the tabled
Second.
agenda. Motion was made by Councilperson Rivera, seconded by Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to remove ordinance 22-090 from the tabled agenda, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeJeece.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries unanimously 9-0 to remove ordinance 22-090 from the tabled agenda. Council members, Mallory Clark sent an email to us regarding this with the amendment. If you look on the computer, you can see the amendment that is attached to it, and I'll read it. It's into the actual plan. It's under the introduction, and the editor's note it's highlighted in green. And it states the provisions of the 6th Street Embankment redevelopment plan will not take effect unless a settlement agreement that includes the City of Jersey City, the owners of blocks 11602, 11304, 11204, 11211, 11210, 9906, 9804, and 10901. The Pennsylvania Railroad Horseman Stem Embankment Preservation Coalition and Rails to Trails Conservancy, is executed and implemented. B, closing pursuant to the settlement agreement that occurred. And C, the city obtains the title and land to be transferred to the city as described in that settlement agreement. In the event that this redevelopment plan does not take effect, the zoning for the redevelopment area shall be governed by the zoning and designs standards of the Jersey City Land Development Ordinance in effect as of the enactment of this plan. So I'm going to ask our Corporation Counsel, Peter Baker, is this a substantial change to the ordinance?
Although it is a great deal of words, it is not, it merely clarifies what would have been required as conditions precedent anyway to what was proposed as part of the redevelopment plan. So no, the change suggested is not substantial.
All right, get the camera on you. With that, council members, I need a motion to amend City Ordinance 22-090 as I stated onto the record.
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Saleh. May I have a second? Second by Council President Waterman. On the motion to amend City Ordinance 22-090, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeJeece. Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 9-0. to amend City Ordinance 22-090. The final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-090 as amended, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary. Councilperson Bajano.
Aye, and also, like I said, Peter, this has cost us over $14 million in lawsuits. It has to end soon. We have to get a deal worked out. I'll vote aye.
Thank you. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
I'm going to vote aye, and just briefly, this is, a step forward towards ultimately making sure the 6th Street embankment is a public space. And just to be clear, that there's many more steps to go, and sort of eager to work with the administration in the next couple of months to advance the second redevelopment plan that we have to amend, the Marin Grand, not Marin Grand plan, but the Marin plan. And then ultimately, hopefully that leads to a settlement. So hopefully those steps move forward, but just so the public knows, they haven't moved forward yet. So this is a important step forward. It enshrines, not enshrines, but it discusses the Embankment Preservation Coalition's vision for a unique public space that really utilizes the urban forest that has grown on the embankment and makes that a public amenity for all in the city. So hopefully step one with a couple more to go.
Thank you. Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Council President Waterman. City Ordinance 22-090 is adopted 9-0 unanimously as amended. Before we move on again to our public speakers, I just have a question for the audience. I apologize for not knowing. Ann Wallace, are you here? Thank you so much. Okay, so council members, need a motion to defer to item 10.8, resolution 22-821. It's just hard to recognize people with their masks on.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilperson Prinzary, seconded by Councilperson, I think that was it
No, it was Danny. It was Councilman Rivera.
Councilperson Rivera? You guys are playing with me now. Okay. On the motion to defer to item 10.8, resolution 22-821, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 9-0 unanimously to defer to item 10.8, resolution 22-821. Council members, before we vote on the resolution, or would you rather vote on the resolution first and then have Ann cite a nice poem for us? Or would you prefer her to cite the poem first and then vote?
Let us cite the poem first and then vote.
That's what I thought. Okay, Ann, just give me 1 second to get the
Sure.
camera on you.
Never take it for granted.
That's correct. Okay, Ann,
All set?
all set.
Okay, good evening. I feel like
Good
it's a
evening.
test with the reading first and then the vote, but my name is Ann Wallace and I am a 20-year resident of Jersey City, 30 years here in Hudson County. I'm a lifelong educator. I teach at New Jersey City University. I teach in the English department. I'm also a founder of the Ethical Community Charter School, and I was the long-term board chair there as well. And I've devoted my life to education and to literature and to sharing, to helping students, but also adults develop their voices and tell their stories. And as a writer, as a poet, that is one of the things I do. One of the things I in particular write about several different areas of interest to me, but illness is one of the things that I focus on because I'm a long-term cancer survivor. I have MS and I am a person who's had long COVID since March of 2020, right when our city was shutting down. I was already sick. So I've written extensively about that experience and how it's changed my perspective on many things and has also sparked me to slow down. And I'm a person who does a lot. And having a COVID and long COVID and being severely debilitated by it has changed the way I function in the world. And it's not all bad in many ways. I mean, I don't wish long COVID on anyone, but the kind of focus and meditation and shifting of priorities has in itself been eye-opening and transformative for me. So I'm going to share a poem that I wrote this April, looking back on these past couple of years. It's called Standing in a Different Place. I've not strayed far from home, the tether of my oxygen held taut for too long, now flagging, since a warm March lap around Walden Pond, before it all shut down and my home became a pulsing hotbed of virus, of illness, for weeks, turned to months, turned to years. I've not strayed far, and yet the world has tilted on its axis, and I have too. I scan the once flat ground for a new toehold where I might find modest purchase. Take a breath and release my tether, then engage these weary muscles and reach my hand up high from my precious ledge, groping for a new patch of solid ground. Thank you.
And maybe you should just stay there to make sure that they're going to vote for this resolution. Okay, that was very nice. So council members, we're going to be taking a vote on item resolution 22-821. Councilperson Ridley.
I vote aye, and thank you for sharing your talents with the residents and students here in Jersey City.
Councilperson Prinzary.
I vote aye, and still only two in, but congratulations on the appointment.
Councilperson Bajano.
I vote aye and congratulations.
Councilperson Saleh.
Vote aye as well, and congratulations. Thank you for your contributions to the city, and I look forward to hearing more.
Councilperson Solomon.
Thank you for all you do, particularly teaching at NJCU, and I vote aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye. Thank you for your contributions.
Councilperson DeGise.
I vote aye. Thank you and congratulations.
Councilperson Rivera.
I vote aye. Congratulations.
Council President Waterman.
I vote aye and congratulations. I did read your bio and I read about your challenging with your health. And I think what you're sharing can heal people, you know, because words are powerful. So thank you for sharing your life and all that you do for the city of Jersey City. Congratulations, Ann.
Thank you so much.
And I can proudly say resolution 22-821 is approved unanimously 9-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. An honor.
Okay, it's that time of the night where we're going to go into the public speaking portion of the meeting, but members of the public, council members, there was a little glitch. And when I posted the public list, Laverne Webb Washington was supposed to be listed first, so I am going to call her first, and then I'm going to go in the same order that the agenda is listed in. So with that being said, Laverne Webb Washington, you're up first.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Tonight I'm a little tired, but tonight I need Chuck Harrington to stand up. Council, for the past few weeks, I gave out over 300 brand new coats from Macy's. I gave out over 300 turkeys, not from this city, from people like Chuck Harrington. Stand up. Chuck, I thank God that he was here tonight because I have to recognize him. He helps me with my summer camp, my back to school, and then my winter coats, because I don't get grant money. What I do, I get from people like Chuck. Some of the people Chuck recommend to me that he's doing business with, him and Gene O'Connell, and people like Billy Mem from Greeny Plumbing, the hardware on Garfield and community. I don't get money like that. I get donation, and he writes checks to Macy's for me, to Jeff Rose Foods, not only to my nonprofit. I have him last, 2 or 3 years ago, he wrote a check for $2,000, his personal check for tablets for me to give back to the kids in the community. I just want you to know what people like him do for me and my children. I got women here tonight that gives out this stuff that's crossing guards. You guys that helped me out, stand up. Where you at? Come on, Sister Caitlin. Stand up, Sister Caitlin. Y'all that helped me out, they give me kids' names that needs coats. Excuse me?
Just look at us, okay?
I can't hear you.
Just look at us, okay? When you do all
right.
that, you're not.
But yes, it's okay.
I know you want to
But,
tell everybody thank
I
you.
want to recognize
I
him
know.
because I want God, you guys to know what God gives me to do, and people like them help me. They don't get no pay. We give back to Jersey City kids. Our people come from all over this. I go to every ward in the city. So I just want to be thankful for them and let you know what people like them do. I'll be 75 years old in August. And I appreciate all the years that I give back out here, but I have soldiers like them to help me do it. And I thank God for them different lawyers, developers like Lou Mung on Municipal Avenue. There's different people that help out, that give back, and it's no problem. And tonight, I'm gonna get on that Jersey City Armory. They had our kids out there for an hour and didn't let them in. My grandson was waiting in the cold in his shorts. So let's get on them for the Jersey City kids. I love you and God bless you.
God bless you. Okay. In the order, the regular order, item, excuse me, Speaker 5.1, Adele McHale. Adele? Last name Mikhal. Not here? About Nauer McHale? Not here. Okay, Jessica, 5.3. Jessica's not here, okay. 5.4, Susan Marie Carr.
Good evening, and it's Suzanne.
Suzanne, I'm sorry.
All right, my mom gave it to me. I am here to ask for help. I am a long-time resident in Jersey City. I'm a professor of nursing at, I can't even think of it at the moment, St. Christopher. Oh my gosh, St. Peter's University. I'm a little nervous, even though I speak all the
Take
time.
your time, don't worry.
We live on Christopher Columbus Drive, and this is a neighborhood. It is not a business, it's a neighborhood. In the building in which I live, we have 4 children. 2 of the parents couldn't come with us tonight because they had to go to teacher-parent things. 1 parent just gave birth about 12 hours ago, so she couldn't be there, and of course her husband's with her. And the other ones are brand new parents. Their baby's 5 months old. They couldn't. So I'm here to speak for them. I'm here to speak for all the people who live on Jersey City on Christopher Columbus Drive in that area. I know it's very different downtown, and if you go further away, but we just got from the Department of Infrastructure, Division of Traffic Engineering, a letter that says they're restriping. Actually, they called it a new road diet. Which tickled me. It says the existing supply of on-street parking will remain unchanged. This is blatantly untrue. On my side of the street alone, I counted 10 spaces that are no longer there. Now remember, we live there. And on the other side, there are quite a number of spaces that are marked, and the Pronti and Del Forno companies, real estate companies, somehow got stripes put inside in front of their building so that nobody could park there. It says loading. Let me tell you, there hasn't been any loading in front of, which one is it? It's the Del Forno building for at least 10 years. They converted that building into real estate office and several yoga studios, etc. There's no loading going on. They just want the building exposed so that the people can see them. And I'm asking for help in trying to get those stripes painted out, make it go back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Suzanne, call Suzanne.
No.
Call Paul Russo in engineering and tell him, and I'll speak to him tomorrow morning.
Speak to whom, sir?
Paul Russo from Traffic Engineer.
Okay, great. I will do it. Thank you.
Pam, got you. Pam will help you.
Okay. Our next speaker, 5.5, Kevin Weller.
Hi.
Hi.
On November 9th, I spoke about rent control non-enforcement here in Jersey City, and I mentioned that there was both local and national press focusing on those with the power to act. Here we are again. The press is here again, only now there is even more interest. Let's review the national coverage just since the last council meeting. The Wall Street Journal, quote, "When they go this crazy, to these crazy numbers, people say, really? Can they do this? Are there no laws that limit anything on rent?" And quote, "A spokesman for Equity Residential said it uses rental pricing software," end quote. Have you heard about this software? It's very big news, but the issue for Jersey City may become the fact that this software is being leveraged among buildings that should be protected via very strict rent control laws. Who is at fault starts to shift when there is awareness, like this very public awareness of wrongdoing, but is allowed to continue. The Journal even quoted our mayor, Stephen Fulop. He said his administration has dedicated significant time and money into enforcing tenant protections and expanding affordable housing. Can anyone provide an inventory of how that significant money was spent? Can we be provided with a list of buildings where tenant protections were enforced? The Journal continued, a Jersey City ordinance enacted decades ago stipulates that all apartment buildings with 5 or more units are presumed to be rent controlled, end quote. That is exactly what the rent control administrator put in writing before allowing a rent control exemption anyway, despite failing to meet the statute requirements. The Journal continued, a state law enacted in 1987 to encourage housing development allowed owners of newly constructed apartment buildings to file within a certain time frame for rental control exemptions of up to 30 years. See, that's the issue at hand. There was no filing for my building ever. What about other national outlets? The Real Deal is known as the #1 real estate resource. Here's a quote. Sam Zell discovers Jersey City rent control the hard way. Tenants facing big rent hikes figure out they are illegal. How about this one? If Sam Zell didn't know Jersey City has rent control, he does now. How about local news? The Patch. Rent control controversies in Hudson County get national attention. And another quote about national equity firms failing to follow local rent control guidelines. I believe the Hudson View, the Jersey Journal, and the Jersey City Times are here today as well. Now things are a bit more serious, though, because of the Department of Justice probe to which our tenant association has volunteered our full support and cooperation. Since we brought this to your attention 3 weeks ago, what have you done? And for the record, what will you do from this point forward to address the non-enforcement of rent control where I live? Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, 5.6, Jessica Braun.
It's Brand.
Brand, sorry.
It's okay. No one gets it right.
Go ahead.
So thank you, council members, for your attention this evening. My name is Jessica Brand, and I've lived in Jersey City since 2016. I'm currently a tenant residing in Portside Towers East, one of the 6 properties managed by Equity Residential in Jersey City. As you've just heard, my building should be subject to rent control according to both New Jersey statute and your own Jersey City ordinance. I'm here to ask you to advocate for your citizenry, help enforce the law as written, and provide relief to my fellow tenants and me. Earlier this year, I received a rent increase of 34.5%, over 8 times the limit your ordinance imposes on landlords of newly constructed multiple dwellings in Jersey City. 34.5%. which is absurd. My increase was one of the highest in Portside Towers East or West in the past several years, but amazingly, not the highest. Not the highest. My increase and others my fellow tenants received were so egregious and unconscionable that we organized as a community and initiated an investigation into the legality and legitimacy of those increases. And what we have uncovered is that one, the original owners never filed a claim of exemption within the allowable time frame as required by your ordinance and New Jersey statute. Two, neither tower was eligible for an exemption from rent control, as this and other requirements of the ordinance and statute were not met. And three, the landlord tenant office in Jersey City has failed to administer and enforce Jersey City Ordinance 260. And lastly, I will paraphrase Albert Einstein. I'm a scientist, so forgive me, and remind you that nothing is more destructive of respect for the government and the law of the land than passing laws that are not enforced. No filing, no exemption. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, 5.7, Jessica Razula.
Hello, my name is Jessica Rasulo, and I'm a 9-year tenant of Portside Towers and a mother of 2 who's raising my children to be proud and active members of our amazing community. I live at 100 Warren Street, where there was no filing of a claim of rent control exemption at least 30 days prior to the issuance of our certificate of occupancy. No filing, no exemption. Despite not meeting the requirements of Jersey City Ordinance 260-6C or the New Jersey statute, the landlord-tenant office hasn't allowed an exemption to rent control for 30 years because they allowed a filing that was 2 years too late. According to a city determination letter dated 9/19/2022, that 30-year exemption expired on 8/25/2022. One of my fellow tenants had their lease renew one day before this flawed exemption was set to expire, and they were subject to a 30% rent increase. One day before this exemption ends, it is enforced to the benefit of the landlord. But this same Jersey City office, which exists, according to the New Jersey City Ordinance, to enforce rent control, allows the landlord 2 extra years beyond what state law allows in the statute. The courts have already ruled on this very same set of facts in New Jersey. Jersey City is very well aware of these cases, but they are attempting to ignore the law and the courts. In the history of New Jersey, no municipality with rent control ordinances has ever allowed an exemption to rent control when there was no timely claim filed. Hoboken, March 2022, 801 Madison, no filing, no exemption. Hoboken, July 2022, the Rivington, Mayor Bala determined, no filing, no exemption. Union City, Willow Ridge, their rent leveling board issued a unanimous decision, no filing, no exemption. The New Jersey Superior Court upheld that unanimous decision. No filing, no exemption. The New Jersey Appellate Court upheld that unanimous RLB decision and the lower court decision. No filing, no exemption. Why is the Rent Control Enforcement Authority for Jersey City trying to be the first in the history of New Jersey to allow illegal rents despite their peers, the ordinance, New Jersey state law, New Jersey Superior Court, and the New Jersey Appellate Court? Why? Why is Jersey City supporting large corporations versus your constituents? Follow the law. No filing, no exemption. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, Alyssa Lattis. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name.
Hello, my name's Alyssa Lattis.
Lattis, okay.
Over 1,000 Portside Tower residents have been impacted by the non-enforcement of rent control laws. I am one of those residents. I moved to Portside Towers in February of 2021. During the pandemic, I felt strongly that each of us who could help should. I'm a frontline healthcare worker. I saw firsthand how the havoc it wreaked on so many people's life. Unfortunately, the struggle has continued given the state of our economy. Like the harm from a pandemic, some struggle is unavoidable. However, when there is harm that can be avoided, should we not do everything in our power to avoid it? What good is a Jersey City ordinance if it isn't enforced? Why have landlords in Jersey City been given unchecked power to cause harm when there are laws that exist to prevent that harm? Jersey City Ordinance 260 is so clear. An exemption applies only when the owner complied with all of the requirements contained in New Jersey statute. That statute requires a filing, which even the rent leveling administrator in Jersey City, who is charged with rent control enforcement, admitted in writing that this did not occur for my building. No filing, no exemption. Under rent control, I should not have to have paid more than a 4% increase. Yet my partner and I received an increase 5 times that limit, a 20% increase last year. I was faced with this illegal increase at the time when I was completely burned out from working in the ICU during the peak of COVID. Moving was too much for me to take on mentally, physically, and emotionally, so we decided to sign under protest. We didn't have the bandwidth to fight this increase, but fortunately, a few fellow tenants have put forth the effort that we could come alongside and join. I was relieved to find out that there are laws in place to prevent this increase. However, what continues to shock me is the sheer effort it has taken, and yet somehow I still have no relief. We have just received our next offer, an increase of 10%. 2.5 times more than what it should be. Why do I have to continue to be forced to pay more than what the ordinance permits? The Wall Street Journal article that came out last week about this very issue quoted an attorney from the Waterfront Project who said, residents often don't have the resources to pursue rent control enforcement or are worried that they could lose their homes by fighting their landlords. This was me, and the only reason my story is different is because there are others already in the midst of this fight, allowing me to more easily step in and join them. How many?
Sorry, your time is up.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, 5.10, Leonida Garcia.
Sharon, I think we skipped 5.9.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Councilman. 5.9, Michelle Hirsch. So I apologize.
It's okay. I don't take it personally.
Please don't.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Michelle Hirsch, 5.9. And thank you in advance for the action you will take and make known to protect the tenants of Jersey City. Why is Jersey City choosing to not enforce the rent control law when law firms from across the state of New Jersey are shining a light on these specific issues that more than 100 tenants have raised in their petitions for illegal rent increases at Portside Towers? No timely filing, no exemption. The law firm of Brock Eiler issued a public real estate alert following the Appellate Division's Willow Ridge Apartments decision. They highlight that a building owner and a municipality that historically conducted their affairs as if a rent control exemption was in place is not justification to retain an exemption that did not exist. The law firm of Chiesa, Shahinian, and Giantomasi also publicly reported on the Willow Ridge Apartments decision. They summarized that there is an affirmative duty on property owners to be able to prove that the notice requirements were met when the residential property was built. Further, they emphasized the filing requirement is a mandatory condition precedent to receipt of a rent control exemption. It is therefore shocking that the Jersey City Rent Control Enforcement Authority chose to go so far as to write in her Portside East determination letter, quote, to date, no letter to the construction code official in connection with the requested exemption from rent control for 155 Washington has been located, but that does not mean that one was not sent. Really? Are you as disappointed as I am that the Rent Control Enforcement Authority, acting on behalf of our city, is willing to accept something that does not exist? Or maybe I shouldn't be too shocked by her position. After all, At the last city council meeting, I recounted that I received an email from my landlord stating, quote, "So I did have another chance to talk with our legal team, and they reiterated that we are exempt and we are working with the city to clear up any confusion that may exist around our exemption status." At the last meeting, I asked you, what does it mean when Equity's legal team is working with the city? I've read the state and local laws, and I know that working with the city is not how one operates within the law, and neither is permitting an exemption from rent control when there is no proof that a mandatory filing requirement has been met. Fact. There is no documentation of a timely filing of an exemption from rent control for either of the two buildings at Portside Towers. No filing, no exemption. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now Deanna Garcia.
James, explain some of this to me with this group. Hi,
It's Dania Garcia.
Are you with them?
No, I'm not.
Could you just give me a second, please? Because I
One second.
want to find out exactly what's going on with this building, and I know the ward switched. All right, it's now Frank's ward.
Sure.
So I just want to know, could you just give me a little update here so we'll know how to approach Dinah?
Right, sure, sure, right, yeah, sure.
You're
Sure.
going to show me. You're gonna
Do you want me to?
No, go ahead, though. I
Okay,
mean,
sure.
you're more-
Yeah, sure. I'll give you the quick version and then we can talk more. But a number of tenants at the two Portside Towers, there's two buildings, filed illegal rent applications or petitions in the spring. It took a long time to get those adjudicated, and ultimately they were adjudicated in, I believe, September. And then the way that the process works is the rent control administrator, in which case Director Hendon, makes a determination. And then that determination, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, can then be brought before the full rent leveling board if there's a disagreement or dispute, and both parties, the landlord and the tenants, can appear before the board and argue their case. And in her determination, Director Hendon determined that the two buildings did fall under the city's rent control ordinance. However, she exempted them for 30 years under the state law that the state says that new construction is exempted from rent control for 30 years. And as the tenants are bringing up to us is saying that to be exempted, you have to file an exemption and determination, and that paperwork was not properly filed. So they disagree with Director Hendon's ruling and argue that rent control should have applied to those buildings for their full existence. That's sort of the top level version. I don't know if Kevin, you want to?
I mean, I just want to just jump in here. I would like to have a meeting, on the record with Director Hendon and the rent leveling board, because what these tenants are also failing to realize, on top of all of this that they're going through, they probably live in one of the most abysmal elevator buildings in this city. And it has to be, we have to make sure that this gets fixed along with all this mess that's going on here. So I think that, an on the record meeting needs to happen ASAP, because we have issues here on top of this. Like I just mentioned, we have safety issues that are not, I went to this building twice, and 2 times there were tenants that couldn't come down because one of them had a baby. They lived in the umpteenth floor, and that was a situation. So I would like for this to be rectified as soon as possible, if we can.
So, Frank, this is your ward now, so maybe it's just a suggestion that you and Councilman Rivera meet with this group and see how we can move forward, because they have a discrepancy with Dinah's decision, based on what I'm understanding. And so let's see what happened there, because if paperwork is not filed correctly, I see your point. I do. And I just think as a city, when we fall short, we just got to own it, so to say. We have to, please don't clap. We just have to do what's right. Now, I don't know how we can resolve this issue, but I know for rent to be, increased 34% is ridiculous. I don't know how you're living at this point, to be perfectly honest. And I just know, living in this city too, the increases that we all feeling. And so I just think we need to see what we can do to work together to start resolving some of these issues when it comes to rent, because you're not the only building. We get numerous of calls that rent is being raised across the city, and we want to see what we can do with it. I don't know if we have to get a team together. I don't know if we have to get students in here to go block by block where buildings are to make sure that these buildings owners are following. I don't know what we have to do, but I know we have to do something different now. I just know it. And Diana's going to tell me she's overworked. That's what I know. I can hear that coming. She don't have enough staff. But at this point, if we can get students, and the reason why I'm saying is because sometimes if you get interns and you allow them to work in certain areas and help towards their grades, they can do it. That's my solution. All right, because the city is growing faster than what we can handle. And so we need to start rethinking how we can help these residents.
I agree.
The ordinance offers an opportunity for exemption, but the default is rent control.
Mm-hmm. The default is rent control. I got you. Okay, so Councilman Rivera and Councilman Gilmore will definitely meet. Just copy me in your emails so I'll know what's going on.
And what I suggest, Council President, is, once the conclusion of that meeting is done, we can invite Director Hendon to the next caucus meeting to address the council as a whole.
Yeah, but like I said, I know I'm going to get short of staff. I just know it because that's what I'm hearing everywhere. Everyone is short of staff, but I'm saying at this point, we got to rethink how we have to tackle the problem, you know.
I agree, Council President. I just
That's all I'm
think
saying.
this one is a particular determination that we just need some
Right.
clarification on.
Okay.
From her.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, Ms. Garcia. Thank you so much for your patience with that.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Tanya Garcia, I'm from born and raised in Ward F, and I just wanted to bring attention to something that can potentially affect most homeowners in Jersey City, which is the replacement of the lead lines.
Okay.
It's a bigger issue than most people are realizing, and the ordinance is not very clear. And I don't think that people with a background in engineering and construction have really looked into it to help write the ordinance. So I reviewed the advertisements, and it's beautiful. It says that the JCMUA is going to collect funds, and homeowners are going to get free replacements with contractors of JCMUA's choice. Now, my question first is, who are the contractors that are being chosen? How are they being vetted? What are their qualifications? Currently, lead lines are being replaced by unlicensed contractors in Jersey City. That's one. A master plumber, a New Jersey master plumber, licensed, is supposed to oversee all the replacements of lead lines. Now, let's say the homeowner does not want the lead line replaced by the JCMUA and is selling their home. The ordinance reads that if transfer of ownership of the home does not have a lead line replaced, the homeowner therein cannot sell their property. This can really turn into a hardship for a 70-year-old Jersey City resident who's been here all their lives and is trying to sell their property and now has to replace a lead line. And if JCMUA doesn't get there in time, the cost of it, and I'm in the business, so I know it's around $15,000 to $20,000. It is not what's quoted in the newspaper by the head of JCMUA of $2,500. Impossible. And I just want to make sure that this is known, it's on record, that people of expertise are looking at this in depth. I will personally be following this, and every homeowner in Jersey City should be super concerned on this ordinance.
We tabled it, so we didn't vote on it tonight at all. So we're going to discuss it, and I'm glad you came to bring up those concerns.
Once again, they're picking on
Okay.
1 and 2 family homeowners.
Thank you for coming.
Next speaker, 5.11, Jean Daly.
I'm good. Yeah, there are a couple of things I'd like to cover, but since I guess I'll start from what the last speakers were saying about rent control. Rent control has been a sham in this city for decades. The reason being is that if you have repeat offenders such as Del Forno, they don't care. They just keep on offending, and then you have to go to rent control, and then they just slap them on the wrist and they get away with it. We don't have any penalties for repeat offenders. Repeat offenders should be penalized. Also, I know a lot of these people in the rent control are connected old time with the realtors. I know one of the former directors had stated that he bought his house from Del Forno, and Del Forno helped him get the mortgage and everything. And I was curious, is that why Del Forno, when you call rent control, they go, oh no, not them again. So that's one step. I'm also would like to speak about, I wasn't here last council meeting, but this resolution for $153,000 for Ascape Landscaping. Once again, you are taking funds to pay for work that the Division of Forestry and Parks are supposed to be doing. Why are we subletting out this work that we have a department for? Over the past couple of years, since 2019, we have given nearly $3 million to Gene's Landscaping to do what? Park maintenance. Why are we gutting our unions? Why are we gutting our public workers? Should we subcontract out your jobs? Give that a try. Maybe they could do better. Might be cheaper even. They might not be citizens or have residency, but who cares? You are breaking the backs of unions, and I am totally against this because they need your support and need your help. So I'm accusing you again of union busting, which I accused you before of what they tried to do with the traffic guards, crossing guards. But in the end, I would like to get back to this darn budget the city is operating and these emergencies. I'm asking you to propose an austerity budget moving forward. I'm asking everyone to go look through the budget that was just passed, find the waste, figure out what could have been cut, which you didn't do, and create an austerity budget. This city needs it. We are hemorrhaging. The residents are hemorrhaging. Everybody is hemorrhaging, and this has got to stop, and it starts with you. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Santo Della Monica.
My name is Santo Della Monica. I'm the president of Local 245. Thank you, President Waterman. You said 2 weeks. We're going to be in front of you with our contract. I want to thank you on that. I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. I represent the Jersey City traffic guards. 7 years they were out of contract. I would like for you guys to vote yes on Resolution 22-824. Please pass this, where our traffic guards can get 7 years of back pay. And I do have one question for John Metro. If they do pass this tonight, can you give us an extra amount of time when we're going to see this back pay? We've been waiting for 7 years. That's it for us. And thank you for having us here today.
Thank you, Mr. Delmonica. So if this is passed today, we are already into the second phase of this pay cycle. So it would be the first pay cycle in December.
December, second pay cycle?
That's correct. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Happy holiday.
But that's before the holiday, just so everybody.
For the holidays.
That'd be a nice Christmas gift for the traffic guards, which I got standing behind me. Thank you very much.
Old timers are not here.
Okay, next speaker, 5.13, Ray Ballon.
Hi, everyone. So tonight I'm going to be representing Hummish JC. Not too much crazy stuff going on. We do have some requests that the city takes seriously. We are asking the city to create a citywide Narcan distribution program and education program. As you all know, we do have a drug epidemic going on. A lot of people are passing away that don't need to be passing away, so we should be training everybody on how to use Narcan and supplying it to our public. Secondly, we are asking that you update the forestry standards. If you look at the 2018 forestry standards, they are a joke, they're a mess. From a biologist perspective, they need to be redone. I'm asking that we create an invasive species list, a native plant guideline, as well as removing invasive tree species from the current recommended list. And I'm actually, now that we're talking about forestry, can we fix the entire forestry and parks and recreation department? Because this is a joke. We should have more trees. We need to get rid of the combined sewage system. We need to be addressing the high childhood asthma rates that are going on in this city and the effects that it's having on our low-income population. And that's pretty much the easy stuff, getting into the more controversial things. Before I say this, I do expect council members to be mature and acknowledge their mistakes. Nobody forced you guys to take multiple county jobs. And that was your choice and your choice alone. So if I hear again that a certain council person or a member of the Jersey City staff is coming at individuals for their freedom of right to speak on their speech and their opinions, we're going to have an issue. I'm not going to say names because you know who you are, but if you're going to be angry at anybody, I highly suggest you look in the mirror because that's the only person there is to blame. And then lastly, I'm calling for Amy DeGise to resign for obvious reasons. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Chris Gatson. You left? Okay, not on the speakers list, but asked me to speak before the meeting started. Louis? Louis?
Trust me, it's under 3 minutes anyway. No worries.
Louis, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Good evening, council members and council meeting attendees. My name is Louis Charlo, and I am a more than 30-year resident of Jersey City. As a volunteer for Voter Choice NJ, I would like to take a minute to thank you all for allowing us to present regarding the value of ranked choice voting in Jersey City on December 8th. Our goal is to shed some light on what ranked choice voting is with a fun-filled ranked choice vote from among 6 of Jersey City's favorite restaurants. We ask that everyone who can to please join us and our sponsors, Voter Choice NJ, New Jersey Appleseed, and Councilman James Solomon at City Hall to kick off the holidays with a ranked choice vote on the city's favorite restaurants. Ranked choice voting is a simple upgrade to the way we vote. It allows voters to rank their choices in order of preference and ensures the winner has the support of the majority of voters. Ranked choice voting is being considered in cities and states across the country and is a way to improve our voting process. And this mock election of Jersey City restaurants is a perfect way to show people how it works. This hybrid event will include campaign speeches and posters for each of the candidates, and those present will vote on paper ballots. Counting will be done right there in view of all, as virtual attendees will vote on electronic polling software. With the results combined, one restaurant will win the bragging rights as the voter's choice, and 6 lucky attendees will win gift certificates to the participating establishments. This midweek after-work event from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, December 8th, will bring a smile to your face, introduce you to some great restaurants in Jersey City, and show ranked choice voting in action. We look forward to seeing you at this fun and informative event in person and on screen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. And that was way under 3 minutes. I'm impressed. All right, on to our petitions and communications. Any questions or comments on items 6.1 through 6.16? Hearing none. Any questions or comments on Office Communications 7.1 or 7.2? Any questions or comments on Report of Directors 8.1? On to our claims and addendum number 1. So council members, I'm going to be taking a vote on claims and addendum number 1. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore. Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Claims and addendum number 1 are approved unanimously 9-0. Okay, on to our resolutions. Council members, I'm going to be taking a vote on items 10.1 through 10.14, with the exception of 10.6, which has been withdrawn, and 10.8, which has been approved earlier. Councilperson Ridley.
On, where are we going to again?
We're going from items 10.1 through 10.14, with the exception of 10.6, which has been withdrawn, and 10.8, which was approved earlier.
Okay, on 10.5, can we just make sure or ask the golf course to alert at least the homeowners association at Port Lib, because these fireworks are going to be very close to people's homes, and they should be aware because we're going to get a lot of phone calls. But with that, I vote aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
No on 10.1, aye on all the rest, and then specifically on 10.11. I know it's been a long time coming, 7 years, but extremely well-earned and well-deserved. All the traffic guards are truly some of the heart of our city, and you protect our kids, and you deserve every penny you're getting out of this contract.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Oh, aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye on all.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Okay, if you can just allow me to recap, item 10.1 is approved 8-1 with Councilperson Solomon voting no. Items 10.2 through 10.5 are approved unanimously 9-0. Item 10.6 was withdrawn. 10.7 is approved also unanimously 9-0. 10.8 was approved unanimously earlier. And items 10.9 through 10.14 are approved unanimously 9-0. On to our next set of resolutions, items 10.15 through 10.24. Again, council members, I'm taking a vote on items 10.15 through 10.24. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Council President Waterman. Items 10.15 through 10.24 are approved unanimously 9-0. Okay, for the balance of our resolutions, and before we take that vote, I just want to confirm with the business administrator that we are withdrawing 10.32 from the agenda.
Yep, that's correct, John. We're going to work with the council and bring that back next meeting.
Thank you. Okay, council members, with that being said, I'm going to be taking a vote on items 10.25 through 10.30, 10.31, and 10.32 are withdrawn. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Items 10.25 through 10.30 are approved unanimously 9-0.
John, can I just ask you, why'd you withdraw 10.31?
Councilman, that was at the request of your office to go over the contract prior to signing the lease. So we just want to make sure there's certain rights designated there to the property and to the assets.
I thought we agreed on everything, and Peter, we got more? All right. Because I know they keep on asking, they want to get it done.
Just want to make sure we confirm with you prior to anything being approved.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, 1 second. You guys are fast. All right, I have a motion to adjourn
Second.
at 7:24 by Councilperson Rivera, and I heard the second by Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to adjourn at 7:24 PM, Councilperson Ridley, Councilperson Prinzary,
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano,
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh,
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon, Councilperson Gilmore,
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise, Councilperson Rivera, and Council President Waterman. Motion carries 9-0 to adjourn at 7:24 PM. Thank you so much, everyone watching at home, everyone in attendance. And again, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and hopefully you have a very happy and healthy holiday coming up. And again, as always, teamwork makes the dream work. Have a great night. Stay safe.